All right, so I wanted to make a quick guide for beginners on how to use Shopify. Shopify could seem daunting on the surface, but I'm going to walk you through step by step on how you can get your store up and running in less than 30 minutes and show you all the steps that you need to get ready to start selling products on Shopify. And I'll have a link in the description down below, in which case you can use to sign up for Shopify yourself and follow along with the tutorial. You can get your first month of Shopify for only $1. So if you want to go ahead and follow along, there's a link in the description down below. But let's go ahead and get started. So when you first open up Shopify and you want to create an account, you're going to be presented with this screen, in which case you're going to need to create an account to sign up. So I'm going to go ahead and sign up with my Google account. First, it's going to ask us where we would like to sell. So for us, we're just going to create an online store. So I'm going to select the online store and click on next. It's going to ask what best describes you. I'm just going to click on I'm not selling yet. And then for this, I'm just going to select I'll decide later and click next. So Shopify has 3 plans here. You got the basic, the Shopify, and the advanced. If you go with the basic plan, the cart rates are going to be 2.9%, also a 30-cent fee as well on every transaction. If you go with the Shopify plan, you're going to have a 2.7% fee plus 30 cents per transaction. And with the advanced plan, you have a 2.5% fee plus the 30% per transaction as well. To be honest, if you're just starting out, I would just recommend going with the basic plan because that's going to get you up and running. And then as you grow your Shopify business, then you may want to upgrade to the Shopify and or advanced plan. But for now, I just recommend if you're just starting out, just go with the basic plan. Next, it's going to ask you to go ahead and subscribe. So you can either do this now or you can do this later. Once you sign up, you're going to be taken to your Shopify dashboard, in which case you're going to see this get ready to sell screen. But first, what we're going to do is go over to the left-hand side where we see online store. Go ahead and click on that. And what you'll notice is that there's this little eyeball icon right here that says view your online store. If you go ahead and click on that, you can actually view what your store currently looks like right now. So this is the default Shopify theme, and these are just template placeholders because we have nothing on our store yet. So let's say you wanted to change this theme. Maybe you didn't like this theme. What you can do is go to online store and then go to themes. And as you can see, the current theme that we have is the Dawn theme. However, if we wanted to change the theme of our Shopify store, we could scroll down to where we see the popular free themes. And this is going to give you the list of all the free themes that you can get with Shopify. You can also use the paid themes as well. Some of these can go into the multiple hundreds of dollars. So this might be something you want to do later on once you're already selling products. If you want to upgrade the look of your store, you can always purchase one of these pre-made themes. However, you can also actually customize your own theme by going back to the themes page and click on where it says customize. And this will give you full access to customize every single element on the theme. So if we want to adjust the footer, we have all these different options that we can use to adjust the footer to our liking. If we want to change the navigation bar, we can click on that and we can choose a bunch of different settings from here as well. But for now, I'm going to show you how to add a product to your Shopify store. So the way we can do that is by going to the left-hand side where we see products. Go ahead and click on that. And then we want to click on where it says add product. And for this example, let's just create a simple t-shirt. So I'm going to say Evan does tech t-shirt, just as an example. For the description, we can enter in a description for our product. So this is what's going to be shown under the product title on the product page to describe what the product is about. So you can either type this out yourself or you can click on the generate text button at the top left. We can just say it's a cotton relaxed fit t-shirt as our description of the product. Click on where it says generate. And then it's going to give us this generated description. I think it looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and click on where it says keep, and it's going to fill it in for us right here. Again, you can go ahead and make any adjustments to this that you want, but I'm just going to keep it like that for now. I think that looks good. And now we can upload images, videos, or 3D models of our product. So that way people can go through different images or go through different videos showcasing our product on our store. So if you click on where it says upload new, I'm going to go ahead and select a picture of my product like this one, for example, and click on where it says open. And now we can see we have a picture of our product listed right here. You can go ahead and add multiple pictures or videos or whatever you want if you click on the additional plus button. For the category, it might autofill in what it thinks it belongs in. but you can also go ahead and manually enter in which category you think it belongs in as well. For the pricing, this is going to be the price that shows on the product page. So for example, if we are selling this t-shirt for $15, we can put the price as $15. And if you ever gone shopping online somewhere, you might see that there is a slash through price and then a discounted price below that. This is what that compare at price is. So let's say we typically sell it at $30, but now we're only selling it for $15. It's going to show $30 with a slash through it, and that's going to display $15 right below that to show that it is discounted from the price that you would typically sell it as. So that's what the compare at price is. There's also a checkmark box to charge tax on the product. I would leave this checked. Below that, you'll see the cost per item, profit, and margin. This is something that only you're going to see, but it allows you to calculate how much money you're actually making per product. But again, your customers are not going to see that, so I would not worry too much about that. You also have the inventory option to track the quantity of your inventory. I would recommend you enable that as well because you don't want to sell products that are out of stock. In which case, if you did want to do that, you could select the continue selling when out of stock option. But I wouldn't typically recommend doing that just because you don't want to be selling products, especially if you don't know you're going to have them in stock. So I recommend that you keep this unchecked, but you can check it if you want to. For the shipping, you can mark this as a physical product, or if you're just selling digital products, you can leave this unchecked. But if you do have a physical product, you might want to put the correct weight in it, so that way it's calculated for the shipping. You can also add variants to your product. So if you click on the add options for variants, we can add different variants to our t-shirt. So for example, we can enter in a size variant. So for the size variable, we can say we're going to sell these in a small, medium, large, extra large, and you can add any other options that you want as well. We can click on where it says done. And so now if they ever look at the t-shirt page, they're going to see that they can select which size they would like. We can also add another variant, such as maybe, let's say we want to add a color variant. So instead of just the black color, we could also allow them to have different colors of t-shirts as well. And you can go ahead and modify this at any point. And if you ever decide that you want to add new variants, you can always come back and edit these at any time. You can also change the price depending on the size. So if a certain variant of a product costs more to make, you may want to increase the price for that variant. And finally, you can see the search engine listing. So when people search for products on Google, this is how it's going to show up on the Google search results. So if you click on the edit button, you can go ahead and edit any of these meta titles, descriptions, and URLs to change the way that it displays on Google search results. So if everything looks good, you can go ahead and click on where it says save at the bottom right. It's going to show us that we have created our first product and that the product is currently active. If we click on the preview button at the top right, now we can see exactly what that product is going to look like on our store. So as I said before, that compare at price, we set it to 30. And so now it's showing 30 through it with a slash through it, and then $15 as the actual price. We can also see each of the variants that we added, but you'll notice that all of these are crossed out, and that's because it's listing this product as sold out. So let's go ahead and fix that to show that we actually have inventory for that product. So what we can do is go to the left-hand side under the products section. We can go to inventory, and then we can see each of the variants that we created for that specific product. And if you ever want to change the amount that you have available in your inventory, what you can do is go to the available input here, and then you can enter in how much of each variant that you have. So let's just say we're going to enter in 10 for each of these 4 variants here, and then click on save at the top. Now, if we go back to our product page and we click on refresh, now we can see that it's no longer saying that the product is sold out and that the size black is currently available. However, all of these other variants are not. And that's because we only updated the availability of the small variants of our shirts. So all the other variants still have no availability because we didn't enter in the quantity of the other variants. So this ensures that you can enter in the specific amount that you have of every single product that you have, including every variation of the product. And that way people aren't able to buy your product if you don't have it in stock. So every time someone buys one of these products, this availability is going to go down 1 every single purchase. And it's just a good way to keep track of your inventory, so that way you're not selling products you don't have. All right, so next let's cover collections. So if we go to our Shopify store, so I'm going to go to the main page right here, and we go ahead and scroll down, we can see that I have currently 3 products here. Now, let's say I want to separate these products into their own categories. So for example, let's say we want to have a section for shirts and a section for shoes. So what we can do is go to our Shopify dashboard and come over to the left-hand side where we see products. Under the products tab, we want to go to where it says collections. And here we have one default collection, which is the homepage collection, which we can see right here. And this collection contains all of the products that we currently have. So let's say we want to create a collection that just has our shirts and a collection just for shoes. To do that, we can go to the top right where it says create collection. And for this collection, I'm going to call this shirts. You can also give this collection a description as well. For the collection type, you can either choose manual or smart. I recommend choosing manual because the smart collection type will automatically put your products into collections, and sometimes it might put some products in the wrong categories. So I would just select manual and manually add your products. So for shirts, we're going to add both of our shirts. So I'm going to type in shirt and select both of our shirt products right here and click on where it says add. So now we can see the 2 products listed here. We can see how it is listed in the Google search engine, which we can go ahead and edit to match what we want to show up on the Google search results. But if everything looks good, let's go ahead and click on where it says save. So we can see we created a shirts collection. Let's go ahead and click on create another collection, and we're going to title this one shoes. And again, for the products, we're going to go ahead and search for shoe. So I'm going to add the shoes that I added to my products and click on where it says add. So now I only have one type of shoe, so this collection is only going to contain one product, but it is going to be the shoes that I am selling. So I'm going to go ahead and click on where it says save. And now if we go back to our collections on the left-hand side, we can see we currently have 3 different collections. We have our shoes collection, our shirts collection, and our homepage collection. So the homepage has everything, as we've seen right here. But now we can use these 2 collections to create specific pages to showcase those products. So for example, if we go back to our homepage on our store, we can see in the navigation bar that there's the home, catalog, and contact. If we go to catalog, we can see again, we have our products, but they are every single product that we have. They're not specific to shirts or shoes. So to enable a page specifically for shirts and a page specifically for shoes, what we can do is head back over to our Shopify dashboard, and we want to click on where it says online store. And then we want to go to where it says navigation. Then we want to click on our main menu right here. And I'm going to actually go ahead and delete the catalog item. So we're going to go ahead and remove that. And we're going to add a new menu item. And we're going to call this shirts. And for the link, we're going to select our collections. And we're going to specifically select the shirts collection that we created. Then I'm going to click on the check mark to add that menu item. And then we're also going to add in our shoes collection. So we're going to say shoes. For the link, we're going to select our collections, and we're going to select our shoes collection. And then I'm going to click on the check mark again. And we're going to go ahead and click on where it says save. So now if we view our navigation on our page, we should see home, contact, shirts, and shoes. So let's go back to our store. Let's go ahead and refresh our page. And now we can see that it's updated to show those new menu items that we just added. So if I click on where it says shirts, now we can see that we can only see the shirts that we have in our inventory. If we go to where it says shoes, now we can see all the shoes that we have available. So this is just a really simple way to categorize everything into specific pages. So that way your customers can easily access the products that they want to buy by just going up to the top navigation bar and clicking on the appropriate page. All right, so next let's cover how to set up our payments. So if we go to the bottom left where it says settings, this is going to take us to our Shopify settings page. And what we want to do is go to where it says payments. And here's where we can set up all the payment options that we want to enable for our Shopify store. So in order to actually set up your payments, you are going to need to complete your account setup, which means you're going to need to sign up for at least the basic plan in order to actually get started selling products. So if you click on where it says complete account setup, it's going to take you to the account setup page. in which case you can go ahead and sign up for the premium plan to start selling products. And once you do that, if you go down, you can start setting up individual methods of payments. So by default, it adds PayPal as the payment method. We can also add additional payment methods by clicking on where it says add payment method. And here's where we can add in all the different providers, such as, like, for example, MasterCard. We can also set up Visa, and you can basically add in any of the payment providers that they allow. Next, if we go to where it says shipping and delivery, this is where we can set up all the shipping if we're selling physical products. So we can click here to see the general shipping rates for all of our products, as well as all the shipping zones, the shipping types such as economy and standard. We can also add in additional shipping rates if we want to. Sometimes you might want to enable local delivery. You can also have a pickup in store if you have a physical store attached to your Shopify page. You can go here to calculate the shipping of all of your Shopify products. Next, if we go to where it says taxes and duties, and this is going to handle all the taxes for individual regions. So there's going to be different taxes for different regions depending on where you are and where you're shipping to. And that's the nice thing about Shopify, is that it handles a lot of the tax stuff for you. So once you go ahead and start selling products, you should definitely take a look at these and look at all the individual taxes for each regions that you're selling in. If we head over to the domains section, this is where you can connect a domain to your Shopify store. I have a couple of videos on that as well if you want to learn how to connect external domain providers to your Shopify domain. You can also buy a domain straight through Shopify as well. So that is an option if you want to add a custom domain to your Shopify store, which I recommend you do because it makes your store look more professional, makes it look more trustworthy. And lastly, I'm going to show you how to actually select a plan to sign up. So if you go back to the homepage, you should see these notifications here that are telling you to upgrade to a premium plan. So what you can do is click on where you see select a plan. And again, as I said in the beginning of the video, you can just start out with the basic plan. And once you go ahead and start selling more products, then you might want to upgrade your plan. But for most people just starting out, you just want to go with the basic one. So I'm going to select the basic plan here. And then you can go ahead and enter in your billing information, in which case from there, you can go ahead and click on where it says subscribe. And then you should be good to go ahead and start selling products on your Shopify store. So again, I'll have a link in the description down below if you want to go ahead and sign up for Shopify. That's going to do it for this video. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope this helped you out.